morning, everyone. It's Penelope. It's Monday, and I hate Mondays because I have to go back to work. But today, I start a new position in a new department. So I'm more scared than not wanting to go. Anyway, it's Miscellaneous Monday, and I have a lot to cover, and I'm going to try to keep this super, super short. Now, if you followed my week-to-week budget, you knew that I had planned for 2 chicken breasts to make 2 meals with leftovers and some lunches to take to work. So I'm going to show you what I did with those 2 chicken breasts. Now I will let you know that once I cooked the chicken breasts, I used my Dutch oven and I boiled them in just plain water, but I didn't let them boil to where they were just boiling apart. I boiled them till the meat was done, and then that was it. Took them out, took them off the bone, put the bone and skin back into the water, and added 2 more cups of water, and I got a great 4 cups of chicken broth. Now, I did try making this video earlier. I had 2 interruptions that really drove me crazy, so I went ahead and I tried to do this again. So then I put my chicken broth back into my Dutch oven, and I have rice cooking in that 4 cups of water. I put 4 cups of dried rice to 4 cups of water, and we're letting that cook right now because I'm going to use rice 2 times in this week's meal list. The first one is going to be today's meal, and I'm getting ready to make that now. What I did was, like I said, I cut down both the chicken breasts. This was from 1 chicken. Look at this. This is a lot of chicken for the stir fry. Then what I did is I cut the other chicken breast, okay, and I cut it in strips. Some are smaller, some are larger, but this whole container has chicken in it, and then I'll show you that on a different day. So this one is going into probably the freezer because I have a couple more meals I want to do before I do my Mexican meal. I'm going to do that at the middle of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this in the freezer. It's not going to hurt the integrity of the meat at all. The only thing I am waiting on are my avocados. They're not quite guacamole ready. In a couple of days, they'll be ready, and we'll do the Mexican meal. So, second meal is coming up this week. Now, with my chicken stir fry, with my chickens, I am putting all of these bell peppers. These are frozen bell peppers. That's a lot of bell pepper, but I want to bump this meal and make it feed and last, right? So I decided to go ahead and use this one. This is the broccoli, carrots, sugar snap peas, and water chestnuts that I got at the store. Now, Luna has a huge bag of stir-fry vegetables that she's been eating on, and so I might grab a little bit of that and put that in there as well. It has some cabbage and Brussels sprouts sliced up, just a little more oomph, because I do like to put cabbage and things like that in my stir-fries because it just seems to be more filling and better for you. Now, here's where it is a personal journey. I have refrigeration, I have a freezer, I can keep all of this stuff, but if I didn't have a freezer, what would I have done with these 2 chicken breasts? Well, number one, I would have probably only bought 1 of the chicken breasts, and this is what I would have done, okay? 1 chicken breast, that would have made me, I could still make 3 cups of broth with it, and I would have probably added a bouillon cube to it once I got all of my bones out of it. And this is what I would have done. I would have things like this on hand. This happens to be Swanson. My favorite one is the Bear Creek. Now this one happens to be a cheddar broccoli. And they last a very long time. They're in very good packaging. This one obviously light can get to. But this one has all kinds of vegetables and peppers. It even already has the tortillas in it. I've never had this yet because this is part of my stockpile for my prepping. And it says you add chicken and diced tomatoes. Now, I would take a can of diced tomatoes. I would probably add another onion to it. Use my 4 cups of broth. Add my chicken. And that would have made a hearty meal. So my thing is is if you didn't have to buy your frozen vegetables, then buy a soup starter that has dehydrated vegetables in it. Now this has tortillas in it. You could even add a thing of ramen noodles to it and make a really good chicken noodle soup. I know Bear Creek you can find at Big Lots cheap all the time. They also sell it in the Dollar General, I believe, and the Family Dollar. They are a little expensive, but they're huge. And this one is a just add water. But if you have your chicken broth from your chicken, then that's going to make it a little bit more sturdy. Now, something that I want to show really quickly, and I just saw this review on Prepper Pantry, was the Gossman's Shelf Stable Milk. Now, the Gosner, sorry. You can get this at Dollar Tree for $1, and you have this, and this one is 1 quart, okay? Of course, if you're going to open it and you're off grid, you want to make sure that you're going to use the whole quart of milk, so you want to have a plan for it, and you want to execute it. So, for example, say you were going to make a cream stock soup, and you use half of this for your cream stock, well then, you could do something like this. You could make some blueberry muffins, or triple berry muffins, or even the cornbread muffins. Make them into a batter and do griddle cakes with them. Add whatever you wanted to. But if you wanted to do muffins, you could even add some raisins, and the raisins would bump up the fruit value. Another alternative for milks are the evaporated milks and powdered milk. Now, I think, in my opinion, in my preps, I have more of this than I do the shelf-stable or the canned milks. I have a lot more of the powdered milk. I just feel for me, in my preps with trying to keep space, I can stack these, and these also make a quart. But you wouldn't have to use it. You could use half of it and make, 2 pints? So you could actually open this and then just pull down it, put it in a Ziploc bag, and use it. So I think this would be the better option if I were only going to use a little bit of milk. So there you go. You can buy your milks in quart sizes. You can buy them in as big as you want. But this to me is workable because not everything I cook requires milk. But if you're going to make some blueberry cakes or even some of the corn cakes, because if I were going to make this into a really nice chicken soup, I would definitely want to make some corn griddle cakes to have on the side with this. And that's just my idea for that. Okay, moving right along away from the chicken, I have got my rice cooking, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on my temperature here. But that rice is going to feed for 2 meals, plus leftovers, plus lunches. So I'm making a bunch of rice now because I had all of the broth. Something else you could do with your broth is you can make your mashed potatoes. I keep lots of instant mashed potatoes around here. I had them out earlier, but my video got compromised by someone sneaking by and my cat trying to steal my chicken. You didn't want to see that. So anyway, what else is for today? Oh, I have my pumpkin seeds, and now I have company. You all have a